What's going on, guys? Welcome along to AFC Game by Game, and in this video I'm going to be discussing a certain Arsenal player that's been at the absolute heart of a whole ton of social media criticism as of late, and that is Mesut Ozil. After that penalty miss against Bayern the other evening, the amount of stick I've seen flooded his way is absolutely ridiculous. And I just really kind of wanted to have a bit of an air clear, really, as to why maybe he's not playing the most prestigious football at the moment. And I think, first of all, we should be incredibly grateful that we've actually got a guy like him in the club. After that 3-1 defeat at the start of the season to Aston Villa, who on earth would have thought that we'd be where we are now with Mesut Ozil in an Arsenal shirt? When he was linked with us, I couldn't quite believe it. I remember when a load of Arsenal fans were screaming out for Wenger to buy the likes of Jan and Villa, Angel Di Maria, and I think it's fair to say that Mesut Ozil is a bit of a step up from those kind of players. And to have him at Arsenal, you know, when it first happened, it was beyond belief. And he started his Arsenal career absolutely magnificently, bagging an assist in his first game, having an absolutely magnificent impact in the English game, and proving to be what was a potential world-class signing by Arsenal. And it actually looked like he was going to push us onto his Premier League title. And not to say that it isn't now, it's just that he's had a bit of a drop in form, and suddenly everyone's going like on the Ozil hate bandwagon, and it's absolutely ridiculous. I think it's down to the price tag, to be honest. 42.5 million. Maybe he's not living up to that, but he's 25, 42.5 million over what is a 5-year contract isn't at all half bad. Think of the kind of player he's going to be next season. I've got total faith in the guy. It's going to take him a season to get adapted into the English game. All you have to do is look at the likes of Mertesacker, David Silva, even Eden Hazard didn't have the best first seasons in English football, but look at the kind of players they are now. You've got one of the best wingers in the game, you've got one of the best creative midfielders in the English game, and then you've got one of the most resolute defenders in the game. So no questions asked really over Mesut Ozil's potential. He's a world-class player, and he's had a drop of form. And to be honest, I don't actually think he's been off form that much recently. I thought he was awful, god-awful, in that 5-1 mauling, but so was everyone in that game. And to use him as a scapegoat in pretty much every single loss is just unacceptable. And I see people doing it after every game. I mean, admittedly, I'm not going to be someone that sits here and says I haven't given Ozil criticism, because after games, when you're a bit heated up after a loss, maybe you are going to look for a scapegoat, and you are going to, you know, criticise Ozil. And I have done that before, I can't say I haven't, but it does annoy me a bit when I think about how much money he's on and the lack of involvement he has in games. But you've got to look past that, and you've got to think it's his first season, and he's not doing at all badly. I mean, he's having a better than average season, got a lot of better stats out there than anyone. I mean, I was reading that he's got the most assists in assists to games ratio in Premier League history, which is an absolutely amazing stat to have, and he's a great all-round player. And to have him at Arsenal, like, I can't stop saying it, to have him at Arsenal is absolutely bewildering. And like I was saying, he hasn't been that off form recently. It's just he's lost an awful lot of confidence after missing that penalty. I thought he was decent in the Liverpool victory. I thought he was decent in the draw against Man United. It's just that after that really poor penalty, he went massively off form. And he's not even off form, because it was like, what, 60 minutes of a game he played after that, and he was 60 minutes, you know. I can't count that as off form. It's one poor part of a game. And before the penalty miss, he was on top of his game. The move he did to win a penalty was absolutely outstanding, and he's still a quality player. He just needs to rebuild that confidence, and the kind of player he's going to be next season. I mean, you know, he's a great player, and I just think it's ridiculous that we're getting on his back so much. But I know that a majority of fans are actually sticking by him. It's great to see that. But I can kind of understand why people would get on his back. I mean, you know, the amount of money he cost, etc. You know, anyway, I tweeted out for your opinions on this one, and I'll get stuck into them right now. Declan FBD tweeted in, "Give him time," all in capital letters. Someone wants to get their point across there. Sean Gooner said, "I think he'll do it David Silva and have an incredible second season." Yeah, just reiterating what I said. I think he's gonna. It's the adaptation period. I think he still needs to build up his physique, get used to the English game, and next season he'll be one of the best playmakers in the league. There's no doubts about that. Gooner_Matt tweeted in, "I think he's doing great considering he's only just moved here. Life in England is a lot more different than life in Spain." Well, Ozil's been in the country about 6 months now, and that isn't a particularly long time in footballing years. And I think that, you know, it does take a lot of adaptation to get into the Premier League, and one element of that is the physicality. Ozil isn't the biggest of guys, and he's having to come up against some really big teams, Stoke, West Brom, Sunderland, and it's not the easiest of games for him. And like I said, once he's evolved to the English game, he's going to be one of the best midfielders in the world. Gunnar Language tweeted in, "Take Bergkamp for example, started his Arsenal career slowly, tomorrow his statue is unveiled at the Emirates. Ozil needs time." Yeah, saying that, I think, you know, that penalty miss, Bergkamp did one of them. It's shadowing the great legend himself. Ozil needs time, there's no doubt about it. Everyone's saying it. And once he's got this season out of the way, he will be an absolutely unstoppable player. Danny_Dove tweeted in, some are upset with him as they think so highly of him. However, they forget even the greatest players make mistakes. Yeah, that is so true. I mean, people just think he's this world-class player that can go around the pitch doing all these magical moments every minute of every game. And I know a lot of fans don't think that way, but the expectations for us, or the pressure on his shoulders, is so massive. And he missed a penalty. You know, it's his second one for Arsenal, and admittedly both penalties have been extremely poor. But we all make mistakes. Ozil, look at all the good things he's done for Arsenal, and I think they outweigh the negatives. Emit_Ramos tweeted in, started well, a few goals, assists in his first few games, but he's far from the player everyone thought he would be. I don't think it's just a case of him getting a few goals and assists in his first few games. I think he's done a little bit more over the longer period with Arsenal. But I kind of agree that he isn't the player everyone thought he would be. Like I said, I think it's a bit more time for him in that respect. But he certainly hasn't had the impact that maybe the likes of Robin van Persie did at Man United. But you've got to remember, a lot of these players have had Premier League experience. Ozil lacks that, and I'm sure once he gets this season under his belt, he'll still be a world-class player. Samuel Favour 12 tweeted in, he really disappointed me on Wednesday night. Now, I think he disappointed a lot of people in that game, but I think a lot of people have to remember what he did to earn the penalty, how good he was before he actually missed the penalty, and that a lot of it was down to him lacking a lot of confidence throughout the majority of that game. Christoph Sam said, great player, will be even better next year too. Silva needed a year to get settled. Yeah, you know, Silva is another player and a great example, in my opinion, of a player that has come over from the Liga, adapted into the English game, maybe taken a season which has been a bit of a struggle for them, and a year later they've proved to be one of the best players in the league, and I have no doubt Ozil is going to follow in his footsteps. At Maddie tweeted in, Ozil shouldn't even be a case of discussion, he's too good. I kind of disagree with that. I think whilst we've had to pay the money for him, etc. You know, whilst he's not living up to his price tag, I think he's always going to be a subject of discussion, not necessarily criticism. Gunner number 1 said, Ozil, as of late, has stepped up to the plate. In the Bayern game before the penalty miss, he was very good. He just needs his confidence back. Yeah, agree with that. Couldn't agree with it more. I think before the penalty, he was absolutely superb. He was superb in the Liverpool game, and he was very good in the United game. His last poor performance that I can reiterate was the 5-1 mauling by Liverpool, but then again, like I said, everyone was off par in that game, and at least we're starting to see him getting back to the Ozil that we saw at the start of the season, where he's getting a little more involved in every single game. I just want him to rebuild that confidence, and I'm hoping we'll see that game after game after game. A massive thanks to everyone that actually tweeted in their opinions on Ozil. It's been great reading through them, sharing your thoughts, and being enlightened to some of the things that maybe I haven't first perceived about Ozil. Anyway, it's going to be great to see him when he's got his confidence back. Like I said, like everyone that I tweeted out has actually said he needs time. And once he's got that, he's going to be that world-class player that we originally signed. Anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed the video, it would be great if you click the like button. Again, thanks to everyone that tweeted in. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. And make sure you get subscribing.